but the process. Can you give us just a little bit of an example of what a process would be like in terms of working through forgiveness or helping someone to work through forgiveness?
Well, I'll just give you the process. How about that?
Okay.
It's what I call the peace process.
The peace process.
And it's a 5-step system, which is an acronym for peace.
Okay.
The first component is to practice becoming an observer witness to your life. And that is kind of stepping out of your everyday world and the things that you're involved in to kind of look with a neutral lens or an objective lens. All right, what's really happening in my life that's not going well? What's causing me hurt and upset that I really need to deal with? And that's a relatively easy step for people. Once you understand how it works and how you step out of your life and just look at life for what is, not necessarily what you want it to be or what you think it should be. And so that's the first step. And once you kind of are able to look at your life from a more neutral perspective, you can move into step 2, which is to examine your life and see the repeating patterns that are coming up. Whatever's not working in your life is repeating over and over and over again, probably over a long period of time. That's what happened to me. And out that, all right, my relationships weren't working out the way that I wanted them to. Okay, what do I need to do to be able to solve that? So you find the pattern. That's step 2.
Okay, so we have practice.
Becoming an observer witness. Right?
Witness.
A witness to your life.
Okay.
Right.
Practice becoming an observer witness to my life.
To your life.
To my own life. Okay.
To your own life.
Then the second step, E, is examine what things are repeating themselves, what issues or concerns.
So once you're able to gain the skill of seeing what's not right in your life, you find the pattern.
Okay.
It becomes easier without all the stuff, and the hurt that's associated with your life. When you can step out of that a little bit and see, all right, what's the pattern that keeps coming back and happens over and over and it's not working for me? Once we identify that pattern, then we can move forward.
Okay.
Which is step number 3, and is to apply choice. Okay. You have to realize that in life, you're 100% of the time at the mercy of the world, right? Things are happening to you. At the same time, the world is at your mercy.
Okay.
You got your own thoughts, your own things that are going on. And so you have to make a decision what side of that coin you're going to get on. Is life and the circumstances and the things that you find in your life just going to happen to you, and whatever happens, happens? You got to accept that? Or is it going to be the other side, right? When you have decisions that you can make for your own life and take charge of those decisions and apply choice. And that's really where we say, all right, life is not happening to you, Linda, it's happening for you.
I love that.
And once we can make that shift, then we're ready to go to the last 2 steps.
I love that part. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
Right, and that was a big shift in my life, because when you get in horrible circumstances, you just feel things coming at you. Right, and it's with understanding and wisdom that you can turn that around. What seems to be a huge liability in your life, you turn around and make it an asset when you change that one word, T-O to F-O-R. Things are happening for me to teach me something that I need to learn.
Good point. There's an old saying that goes, learn the lessons and you get the blessings.
That's right.
I just love that. So I want to make sure our audience is getting this as well, because this is significant. Peace. So we have practice as an observer of things happening in my life, and we have examine the things that are repetitive. And then we have apply choice, my choice, knowing that the world is not happening to me, but for me. Okay.
That's right.
All right. So what goes on next?
All right. Well, the last 2 steps is, number 1 is to claim your freedom through forgiveness of another person, and that's where we get into the forgiveness work. And there's an 8-step system. There's a process involved there where we take you through the process. And usually by this point, a client or a person's really ready. They're ready to do the work, and you have to be ready.
All right.
Many times you got to think about it a little bit, and then you say, all right, I'm ready to go. Once that happens, we carry the person through the 8-step process, and really what that's centered around is letting go or forgiving an expectation that we have of somebody else. Maybe somebody did something to us and we expected them to do differently and be a certain person or be a certain way, and we can't let go of that. It's usually letting go of that expectation that we work on, which there's a lot of other things involved too. But that's really what the crux of the process is being able to feel the emotions that you have. And usually when you need to forgive someone, there's some kind of hurt there. There's a wound that you've been carrying. There's something there that, you know, something happened and you never really dealt with it. You just kind of pushed it aside. And 20 years later, it's showing up, it's back. And it really doesn't go away until you deal with it. So we take the clients through the process of really feeling their emotions and working around letting go of the expectation. This usually takes about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And we've seen people change their entire life in 30 to 45 minutes. And they've gone from total feeling of powerlessness to total freedom and expression and powerfulness when they've gone through this process. This is a process that was not invented by me. I was taught it by my mentor. Her name's Mary Hayes Greco. She lives up in Minneapolis. She was taught by a man that worked in psychology for many years named Roberto Assagioli. So it's a process that's been around for 40 or 50 years, and it's very, very powerful.
Well, I like the fact that it's been around a number of years because these days people don't just want antidote.
Right.
They want something that's tried and proven. That being said, can you think of any testimonials, other than yourself, some cases you've seen unfold, or at least an example of something that has just turned out wonderful? What's a good story that you can share with us about something you've witnessed as a result of someone going through the forgiveness process?
Sure. We had a great workshop last fall, and we had a lady who volunteered. We had a group of about 20 people in the room. She volunteered to walk through this process, forgiveness process. She had a resentment against her father for 63 years. And she had been carrying around that resentment for a long time. And she even said before she went through the process, she said, if I don't get some relief, my physical health is about to catch up with me. This is going to hurt me physically. She walked through this, and she was able to bring that emotion up, that feeling of being stuffed down for 63 years by her father. And she let her father have it. He wasn't in the room, but she really was able to get that emotion up and express it in a very, very powerful, yelling way. I mean, she was really getting after it. I mean, think about 60 years of the same stuff, just being down there. So she went through the process, and after she was finished, her cheeks were red, her eyes were bright. She just had this glow around her that she had just let go of something huge. And it changed her life. She's actually part of my group now, and she helps me with my workshops. That's how much it's changed her life.
So, Taylor, how important is it for someone to really go out to try and get help for this? When you mentioned that this lady recognized that at some point it would affect her health, what are some of the effects of not experiencing forgiveness?
Well, the research has shown that, when you hold emotions in, you don't process them, it affects your physical health in the form of diseases and illnesses that show up over time. It can affect your mental health, right? When you're just not able to process it and let it go, your mind changes. Your mind has to compensate. It can affect you spiritually. You might not, be in tune with a higher power or God or creator because this terrible thing happened and you just can't deal with it. And so there's a lot of things that happen when you're in a state of unforgiveness. But again, the process itself helps you. It works it out for you. I'm just there to make sure that it all happens in the right way, in the right sequence. So there are a lot of benefits to forgiveness too. What happens when you're able to work through this? Well, your mind changes. Your heart opens back up where it was closed before. You experience, physical, I guess the clients say they feel lighter. They feel like a 300-pound, gorilla has jumped off their back. That thing that they've been carrying around is gone. And then you have to adjust to that, right? Because you've been used to that thing that you've been carrying around, and now it's gone, and now you're lighter and you're freer, and you're happier, you're more joyful, and peaceful too. Then everybody wants some of that.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.